6-year-old Vivian Lord is your typical kid, playing good guys versus villains by day,
but now I'm kind of into it,
and changing the world by night.
I just want to make it light to do this.
Yeah. Remember, she's only 6, but she insists just because things have always been done this way doesn't mean it's right.
I've been wanting to have cool army men, but there's no cool army men, so it's kind of weird.
And I was kind of embarrassed because I honestly had never thought of it.
The disheartening discovery sparked a conversation between Vivian and her mom, Brittany.
That's when we kind of talked about it and, talked about making a change.
My name is Vivian.
So she wrote a letter.
Why do you not make gold army men? My friend's mom is in the army too.
Holding nothing back.
I saw the pink ones, but those aren't goals. And people in the army don't wear pink.
Don't be fooled by her size. She's wise beyond her years.
I never really thought of that.
With her 9-year-old brother Jackson on board, she mailed off her letters to 2 toy companies that make toy soldiers. I reached out to them. Calls to the one in Jacksonville, Florida haven't been returned. But I spoke with the president of J. Lloyd International in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. He told me plans of female Army figures in the future have actually been discussed. They just have to figure out a way to get retailers to support.
So often our kids are the ones that teach us, I feel like, and this was one of those moments.
A childhood lesson in determination.
I think she is going to make Girl Army Men an actual toy
that even grown-ups could learn a lot from.
I just want to stand up for this.
And it's going to change other people's perspective.
You may remember 6-year-old Vivian Lord. Here she is. We first introduced you to her back in August. She was playing with toy army men and noticed there wasn't a woman soldier. So she reached out to companies that make the toys, asking why and if something could change. Now, not only has one of those companies promised to make this happen, so many other people are taking notice of her curiosity and courage, including members of the Arkansas National Guard.
It's pretty awesome having Vivian and her family here and being able to make it more real to her and showing her what an inspiration she is, not just to me, but all the female infantry.
Vivian got a personal tour of Camp Robinson, including getting up close and personal with helicopters and Humvees. She also got her hands on some military guns and a simulator, and turns out she's a pretty good shot.
My name is Vivian.
It all started with this letter.
Why do you not make gold army men?
With a little help from her mom, 6-year-old Vivian Lord wrote to toy companies, hoping to get their attention and change the way toy army soldiers had been made for decades.
I saw the pink ones, but those aren't goals. And people in the army don't wear pink.
Aside from toy missiles whizzing by during one of her make-believe air raids, trust me, there was nothing getting by this little girl. And people took notice. Her letter gained international attention.
And were you disappointed when you found out there weren't any?
Disappointed.
THV11's original story sparked stories told around the world, interviews on network news programs, and it even caught the attention of Jeff Immel, nearly 1,200 miles away in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Every kid wants to be the hero of their own story, and it's not up to us to tell them who that hero should be.
Since getting Vivian's letter, Jeff, the owner of BMC Toys, has agreed to make the female toy soldiers Vivian and apparently a lot of other people have been waiting for.
And every now and then I get the question, do you have any female soldiers? And the answer was always no.
Jeff has already commissioned the first prototype. Next, the figures will be sent off to have a mold made. Jeff expects the new figures to be ready by October 2020. Jeff jokes this experience has kind of made him feel like Santa Claus. But more importantly, he and Vivian have become a part of history. An unlikely pair, separated by distance, teaming up one toy soldier at a time to break the mold.
Hopefully at some point, maybe these toys in a couple generations, people will look at them and they will be as common as, what you think of when you think of a plastic army man.
A young Little Rock girl made a discovery so many of us adults had never taken the time to think about. None of the toy army soldiers looked like her. She had a big problem with it and was not willing to stop until she saw change.
Oh my gosh.
To understand the genuine excitement from 7-year-old Vivian Lord over a bag of toy soldiers,
I see some with buns, ponytails, long hair. It's so cool.
you'd have to go back to the first time we met in July of 2019.
I've been wanting to have cool army men, but there's no cool army men, so it's kind of weird.
She had just written a letter to toy companies across the country expressing her disappointment that there weren't any female toy soldiers on the market.
Why do you not make cool army men? My friend's mom is in the army too.
Nearly 1,200 miles away in Scranton, Pennsylvania, her letter landed in the hands of Jeff Immel.
This wasn't the first time you had an inquiry about female soldiers.
Not at all.
Immel, the president of BMC Toys, agreed to grant Vivian's wish. He and a team of others immediately got to work, commissioning the prototype, producing the mold, manufacturing the soldiers, and shipping them off.
I never expected how important it was going to be to women veterans and women military people. They just, it was something that really touched something within them that they just, it really felt, gave them a little bit of a sense from what they told me, just a little bit of validation. And they often feel overlooked, even though they've been a huge part of the military for a very long time.
As promised, just in time for Christmas 2020, Vivian got her female toy soldiers in the mail.
It says BMC Toys, USA Soldiers Plastic Army Woman Figures. It says 38 pieces. Also says a Kickstarter up there. And if you notice that person in the middle, it used to be a boy, but now it is a girl. They changed their logo to a girl.
I don't think anyone that knows Vivian was surprised about how she went about correcting it, if you will, you know.
Yeah.
That's her. She's always been really into justice and things being equal and fair and treating everyone the same.
A major accomplishment this 7-year-old and others just like her can be so proud of. And for anyone wanting to change the way history has been written, Vivian has this advice.
I would say to them, never quit stopping your dream. Keep going until it happens.